Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Moses, and if you need English for work, you came to the right place. Let's get started. Let's get down to business. So, you've been studying for so long, maybe even years. You could understand English, but you just can't speak. Well, today I'm going to tell you why. Now, you've probably heard this before from many other teachers, is to speak English well, you need to practice speaking, right? Output, not just input. Well, they are right, but there's something else that I think is also really important when it comes to speaking English. Your environment. Now, let me explain why your environment is so important when it comes to improving your English speaking. So, with the environment, there are two groups of students. There's ESL and EFL. Now, depending on which group you are in, will determine what kind of advice I'll be giving you today in this video. So stick around and I'm going to explain what these two groups are and what kind of advice will you get depending on which group you are in. Now, a lot of people think these two groups, ESL and EFL, are the same thing. Oh, I'm learning English. Wrong. I'm here to tell you that's wrong, and they are different. The environment is different. So let's start off with ESL, English as a Second Language. Okay, so ESL, English as a Second Language. So if you are learning English in an English-speaking country, such as Canada, where I'm from, America, Australia, you get the idea, then you are an ESL student. Now, if you are an ESL student, you are very lucky. You have so many opportunities to practice speaking English outside of the classroom. As an ESL student, anything you do outside of your house involves English. You're going to be meeting English-speaking people all the time. So you have a great opportunity to practice speaking English every single day. Now, a problem with people who are ESL students who can't speak English is they're in an L1 bubble. So what is an L1 bubble? L1 stands for your first language. A bubble is, let's picture a dome, or like you've probably heard of Bubble Boy before, right?
And nothing is gonna stand in my way. This is awesome!
If you are in an L1 bubble, you are only speaking your language. You're only staying in your L1 community. So for example, I live in Japan. I teach Japanese students, right? Some students like to go to Canada to study abroad, to practice their English and learn English. But unfortunately, some of them stay in a bubble, in a Japanese bubble. Their friends are Japanese, they work at a Japanese restaurant, but they're in Canada. So they're only practicing English in the classroom. They're not practicing English outside of the classroom. They're in this bubble. And that is why, if you are an ESL student and you cannot speak English and you've been studying English for some time, for a long time, that's why. That's why you can't speak, is you put yourself in this bubble. And I've done it before. I've done it. I live in Japan. My first 3 years in Japan, I was in an English-speaking bubble. My work, I teach English, right? My work was English. My coworkers, English. My friends, speaking English. Everything was English, English, English. But I'm living in Japan. I had so many opportunities to make Japanese friends, practice speaking Japanese, go out, meet people, and really use the Japanese language. But for my first 3 years living here in Japan, unfortunately, I didn't. I was in an English bubble. So my advice to ESL students, English as a second language students, is break the bubble. Get out of the bubble and start practicing your English outside of the classroom, outside of your English lessons. That's the best advice I could give you. Now, for EFL students, English as a foreign language, you're not so lucky. You're studying English in your country where there's not a lot of people who speak English. So you have to figure out ways on how you can meet people, how you can connect with people who speak English to practice speaking English. So if you are an EFL student, how can you find people who speak English, right? Well, the first thing is try to put yourself out there. Try to meet people who speak English. And this is easier if you're in a big city, for example, like Tokyo. I guarantee you can find people who speak English in a huge giant city like Tokyo. One app that you can download on your smartphone is called Meetup. You can find different groups based on your interests. And you can find this group that says, I want to practice speaking English. And you could join that group. And then you can meet that group and practice speaking English that way. Now, another way you can use this app is to look for language exchange groups. Now, actually, on my website, you can actually do a Japanese English language exchange that we do every week on Sundays. And how this works is basically half of the time is in English, you're speaking English, and the other half is in Japanese. Now, another great app for practicing English is called HelloTalk. And it's kind of like Facebook, except for people who are learning languages. And actually, I have a profile on there where you can see what language I speak and what are my second or third or fourth languages, the languages that I'm studying. There you can find a profile, and then if you think this person would be a good match for you, you can add them as a friend, and then you can text them, you can call them to practice speaking English. Now, if you're an EFL student, the last suggestion I have for you is do some vlogging. And vlogging is basically a video and a blog put it together. So a great way to do this is with YouTube. I mean, you're on YouTube, you're watching this video, right? Record yourself on a topic, okay? You could be talking about any topic you want. Record yourself and put it on YouTube. Now, I know some of you are thinking, man, I don't want to put a video of myself on YouTube. I don't want that. You don't have to make it public. You can make the video private, or you can make it unlisted where you can share the link to your friends or family if you want to. So one of the benefits of vlogging is that you can see yourself improve over time. So for example, you can look at your first video and say, wow, I didn't really do that well. I made a lot of mistakes. Oh man, that wasn't a great video. But maybe you can compare it to video 100 And at video number 100, oh wow, I've improved a lot. It's similar to writing a diary or a journal. Instead of writing, you are speaking. So again, here you are practicing speaking, and you can replay the video as many times as you want, and you can try to find mistakes that you made in your video, as well as you can show your video to your English teacher or friends or family, and they could also give you feedback and let you know what kind of mistakes you made. And actually, I do this with my university students. Each week, I ask them a question and they have to answer as part of their homework in a video. Lastly, this point is for both ESL students and EFL students. You need to challenge yourself. You have to put yourself out there. Stress is sometimes a good thing. Just like exercising, you're stressing your body. It's healthy for you, but too much of it is not healthy. Same thing with speaking English. We all know that when you're going to speak English, you may feel nervous. You may feel a little bit stressed out, but that is part of learning a second language. You need to try. You have to realize that trying to speak English and making mistakes is much better than not speaking English at all. And try to enjoy the process of learning English. Try to have fun with it. So guys, if you enjoyed that video, don't forget to smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one. And don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any. With that, I'll talk to you later. Click on the next video that's going to pop up to see more great content. Talk to you later.